Yeah, Bo. This wasn't the first time that it looked like you guys had nothing going for a long stretch of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, you're a different team and one of the best teams of all time. How do you explain that?
We just saved all our good ones for the fourth quarter, and they worked. We just kept running them, and we found some momentum, and our defense found some stops. We got a huge turnover, and all of a sudden we just got some life back. Thought we could win the game, and so we, kept playing until we won the game.
Bo, there was a camera on you as Will was kicking the final field goal. You watched it, then put your head down, then just kind of stayed there for a second. What's going through your mind in that moment as you kind of let everything wash over you?
A lot. He's just, thank you, Lord, for putting me in that position and choosing me to be, the quarterback of this team, and giving us the opportunity to win a game like that. And, Evan said it best in the locker room, man. He chose us for a time like that, and just, very thankful, just very relieved. You win a game like that, it's like the best thing ever. My first time you sort of winning a game like that, so it was awesome. It was a great team win. Every side of the ball made a huge impact in the game at some point, and we just kept making plays and kept hope until the very end.
Bo, Sean said that the final play before the field goal, the throw to Courtland that you guys installed yesterday. I'm just curious your perspective of kind of the origination of doing that yesterday and then seeing it, on the field there for your final play to hit it, and just kind of take me through that if you don't mind.
What's crazy is we installed it yesterday, and we the first live rep we got was what you watched. So Courtland Sutton's just the man. That's all I got to say.
Bo, as you're kind of doing the math and doing, how much time you need, and then for Sternad to come up with that pick, how huge was that in terms of a momentum swing?
There's a time of the game, me and the boys are over there, and I see one of them kind of counting. I'm like, you know what? It's probably best we don't do that because a lot of numbers you're going to have to count to. Let's just play one play at a time. And sure enough, we all smiled and nodded and just went on to the next play and went on to the next drive. And we went out and scored, and it just was – you just kept making plays and kept making plays and kept making plays. And everyone got into a good rhythm. And, we felt like we were in a good spot there in the fourth quarter. And, even when we scored, take the lead, we have to go do it again. And we're just resilient. We just got a resilient group, and it's impressive to win a game like that. It's not easy mentally to continue to fight like that and put everything on the line when, there's really nothing to lose. And it's tough, but we got a tough team.
Bo, there's a lot of history in this game with how big of a comeback it was, and 33 points is the most points scored in the fourth quarter after no points through the first three quarters. Have you wrapped around just how impressive and how the odds were so stacked against you with this?
Well, I was thinking about how I was going to answer questions if we got shut out. Not where you want to be, and at some point I knew we've done it before in the fourth quarter. We're going to, at some point we're going to go down and score. Now, maybe too late, we may not score enough, but at some point we're going to do it. We did it, got a good drive there at the end of the third, scored quickly in the fourth, and it's almost like once we scored and got the two-point conversion, we knew how to play all of a sudden. So it was just, I don't have many answers, but, we just kept fighting.
Bo, to your right, Peyton Manning used to say sometimes when people would ask him, why'd you put the ball there, he would say it was Demarius. Do you feel that way about Courtland?
Absolutely. The one throw I felt like I made today that got me in rhythm, we threw an out route to Courtland, and there's a guy just kind of standing right in front of him, and I knew if I throw this high enough and throw this over this guy, Courtland's going to somehow end up, getting there. And then the last play to where I knew if I get a one-on-one and the DB's back's turned and I see Courtland go up and jump, I know he's coming down with it. And it's a little bit, the vision I have of seeing, Courtland against man-to-man, just thinking like, man, this is going to be, no-brainer. I'm going to put this up. He's going to go up and get it. And as soon as he left the ground, I knew, and we just had to get up there and spike the ball unless he was going to have a chance. So it was awesome. It was awesome. I love playing with a guy like him because there's no prima donna. He works harder than everybody in the locker room. He's going on He's one of the oldest vets in the locker room, and he works harder than everybody else. He runs more than everybody else. He trains more than everybody else, and he never complains. You never hear a word out of him, and the way he practices is how he plays, and I think that's why it translates. And I just, super thankful to play with a teammate like that. And, they don't make many like him. And, I'm just fortunate to have a guy like that.
Bo, it's alumni weekend, and being able to pull off a win like that in front of the Super Bowl 50 class, it almost feels like a statement. I know you're still very early in your career, but what kind of legacy do you wish to create?
Just never flinch, never back down, always in the fight. It wasn't pretty for a long time, and I mean, me included, we all were like, man, it's just not our day. We can't get anything going. And then it just takes a few plays and a few moments and a few guys making plays, a few, pieces of encouragement by guys, and all of a sudden you go and, I mean, I don't even know how we scored 33 points in a quarter. That's kind of insane, but it's just whatever we had to get done. We did it, and it was a full team effort, just play after play by guys. Now, you want to see it done earlier, but however, whatever it takes, by any means necessary.
Sean was talking about DeMarcus talked to the team yesterday, and then Will said it felt like you guys were playing for something more than just yourselves today. Can you just kind of speak about playing for Demarius and playing for that group of guys this afternoon?
Yeah, when people do it before you, and when people leave the legacy that they leave before you, you owe it to them and you owe it to the organization to, not only make them proud, but give it your all and leave it better than you found it. And we talked about yesterday, as iron sharpens iron, so does a man sharpen another. And we had every right to quit, every right to just stop playing for each other, but for some reason we don't have those guys. We got guys that continue to battle, continue to play really hard, and it usually only takes just a few, and then everybody else sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and they are willing to put everything on the line for everybody else. And when you see that, it inspires other people to do it. And we just have a lot of guys that they're going to put everything on the line. They're competitive. It's going to be whatever it takes. And if we come up short, we come up short, and that happens. But today we didn't come up short because we didn't quit, and it says a lot about our team. Thank you.